close. So we walked into the tavern with a beehive. Oh, we're live. Anyway, hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. Tonight, we're doing RPG Guys Talk About Movies, because it always turns into this anyway, so fuck it, we're just cutting to the chase. So tonight, post-apocalyptic movies, Mad Max, A Boy and His Dog, Annihilation, various other ones. Most
Warriors
favorite.
of the Wasteland.
Huh?
Exactly. An entire genre, bless you. There's an entire genre of Italian post-apocalyptic films that were everywhere in the video stores of the 80s, and they're worth talking about.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hey, beautiful.
Yeah.
As I said earlier in the pre-chat, fucking casuals.
Oh, God, that's going to be on Bear's tombstone.
Yep.
All right, so that's where we're at. Thanks for joining the BAMF podcast. And
Don't you have to play your music or something?
God, dude, do you just want to drive the truck? I'll stop. And
No,
get
I
out.
just want to get this shit over with. It's 10:30. I'm staying up late for you fucking people who live in fake time zones.
Big time.
No, they're real time zones.
The timing there was impeccable.
I know.
It really was.
Yeah.
I thought it was deliberate.
That assures you we are a high production value, high quality podcast. Only the finest geeky conversation, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Owen, bring some culture to this massive unwashed rabble. What is your most or least favorite? Have you watched, sir? I don't think you can prove
Ever? Yes.
Owen, go.
My favorite post-apocalyptic RPG is Gamma World. And if I had to pick an edition, I would, but I don't see any point since you can take all of Gamma World and shuffle it together like a sandwich. Gamma World was my first non-fantasy RPG. I think for many, many years, my group and I were blending first edition, second edition, and Metamorphosis Alpha all into one melange, chunky stew of rules that had 45s be more dangerous than death rays. But it was fun. We had a great time. And the thing I loved most about Gamma World, other than the fact that I could actually do a Thunder the Barbarian campaign with it, was that it very carefully, well, maybe not carefully, it did not have a lot of guardrails, which meant you could perfectly well have someone from the cover of that book right next to someone who had a baseball bat and a stop sign and a much lower chance of survival. You could roll on the mutation tables until you were a sniveling moron of a troll, and there was actually a rule that said, if you're too pathetic, just assume you died and make a new character. Someone else
Mike,
go.
you're muted.
I didn't want to step on Owen, but yeah, I love this cover right here. That's probably my favorite thing about that game. But,
That's the first module in an excellent series that they did not finish, although there's a fan final episode that wraps things up that's really decent somewhere out in the internet lands. But that's Alpha Factor, and it was the quest to build the Sky Chariot. You're basically building a space shuttle trying to get to the orbital and lunar colonies.
oh, cool.
But
Hey, you know
lots of politics, lots of factions, lots of stuff that I dearly love.
Cool. Hey, Loki, sir, I just realized this is the first time I have hosted a podcast with you on. Could you introduce yourself briefly for our legions of listeners and viewers? You are.
Loudmouth from the South, New Orleanian, now living in Cincinnati. I teach game design at the University of Cincinnati, and I freelance not anywhere near enough. Something I need to get back on the stick with.
You're also a lot of fun at conventions, just saying.
This is true.
I've been told that I'm reasonably entertaining at the gaming table and beyond.
And I understand that you've won multiple Ennies.
I spent about 16 years as one of the two co-managers of Planewalker.com, the official Planescape site. And during that time in 05 and 07, we actually won a pair of silver Ennies for our website and the resources that we created, a lot of which I still see out and about in the wild in all sorts of places. Warms the fetid, rotted little cockles of my heart, I must say.
Well, thanks for showing by. Thanks for showing up and gracing our usual dog and pony show with a patina of class. Appreciate you showing up.
Don't speak too soon, sir.
I like how Bear is like the middle square on Hollywood Squares. He's just looking at me like, "What the fuck are you talking about, asshole?" It's Bear.
Oh my God, you're right. He's Phyllis Diller.
Bear, since everyone's looking at you anyway, what's your most or least favorite PA game or movie?
Oh, I thought we were doing games and then movies later.
That works too.
Okay.
Yeah, do games.
Yeah, games Moral Project.
Tell me about this one. I'm not familiar with it.
Oh,
Wow. That takes me way back.
I don't know what to do with you at this point in time, seriously. It's basically the whole idea of they knew that the apocalypse was coming, so they created a whole bunch of resources and ways to prepare people. There's the Ares thing and all this fun stuff. And you're playing people who work for the Moral Project in the apocalyptic future trying to bring back civilization.
It is one of the classics of the post-apocalyptic game genre, and even if, for example, the game system might not be your cup of tea, the setup and the source books for it are amazing. It would in fact be my second most favorite RPG after Gamma World. We'll let Loki talk relocation later. In fact, when Darren Drader and I were both working on D20 Apocalypse, which was a source book for D20 Modern. We all did one setting.
Ew.
We all did one setting for D20 Apocalypse in the back, and mine included Rip Van teams, which were Rip Van Winkle specialists and military folk who were put in cryosleep and woke up in the far future because the government saw that the apocalypse was coming, and it was heavily inspired by, though obviously they went in different directions from Morrow Project. It's a solid choice, Mike. You ought to read up on it.
But get the original. Don't get any of these additions. Get the original Moral Project. It's got a charm. It has that mimeographed feel to it. It was put together by a bunch of guys in college. It's got that charm and quaintness to it.
So this is the one from the 80s we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
This one here?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's a good one.
My booklets for it literally came loose leaf with a 3-hole punch to put in a binder.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some of this was under my radar. So cool. Thanks for letting me know about that. I'll check it out. So
My pleasure. I live to serve.
You're like that oppressed robot on Hitchhiker's Guide, sir. You know that?
Don't text me about it all.
Bear, do you have a least favorite post-apocalyptic RPG?
Gamma World.
Awesome. You want to talk about why?
Goofy. It's goofy, and I don't do goofy.
Okay.
I'll do Gonzo any day of the week. Give me some great Gonzo stuff. Cheech, Bode, Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. I'm in like a dirty shirt. But Goofy annoys the living shit. It's like dad jokes. It's just like, ugh.
One of the things I loved about Gamma World was that you could use it to run all the things you were talking about. Now, I don't need a system that only can do it anymore, but when I was in my teens and early 20s, it was super useful to be able to get a group of people together and say, we're going to use Gamma World to do wizards, and then we just would avoid the goofy parts.
No, I get that, but I just don't like it because when I read it, it was goofy as shit, and I'm like, I'm out. Thanks anyway. Good effort, good hustle, TSR. But just
Darren, I see you smiling up there. What's
Yes.
most or least favorite PA
I want to
game?
start with least favorite, and it's fairly new, but there's a reason I'm bringing this one up. And honestly, I can't remember the name of it. It's something like 2055 Apocalypse. It was kickstarted by Legendary Games, and the reason I'm dissing it is because they're taking but taking post-apocalyptic and applying it to 5th edition, which is something that is very near and dear to my heart right now because I'm doing it. But they did it in all the ways that I wouldn't have. For example, power armor is something that you take as a class, and it increases, gets better as you level up. To me, that doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Magic. There was magic in the setting if you wanted it. Again, I don't see a point of that. And the worst offense is technology or magic as technology. In other words, you get a device and it basically just replicates a spell. So instead of playing a post-apocalyptic game, you're really just playing D&D that's been reskinned.
I mean, I understand your beef. In fairness, there's an awful lot of people who have just taken whatever genre you like and reskinned it for D&D.
Right.
Well, there's reskinning, and then there's taking the engine and building a new game, and these are two different things.
Right.
I personally don't necessarily have a problem with magic in my post-apocalypse. You know, going all the way back to Fred Saberhagen and Empire of the East and some of his classic. Thundar the Barbarian is a different and more gonzo example, but yeah, absolutely. The entire Shannara books, which while the first one is crap, there are others that aren't, is a post-apocalyptic setting. Specifically, Wizards has magic as well as tech. But I am less impressed with a game design if it says, here is your ray pistol, it fires a lightning bolt and has 50 charges. Okay, well, that's a wand with a trigger.
Yep.
Yep. We have lost. Go ahead. Sorry.
My favorite would be the alternative version of Gamma World. It was designed by Jeff Grubb, who is one of my favorite designers of all time, largely due to his work on Spelljammer and the Forgotten Realms. And there was a little bit less gonzo to that edition, I think. But it was really nice, and it was also in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle in particular, which is where I was living at the time. So I was like, "Hey, I know where those places are. Cool."
You say this was
Rex
the second
Space
edition?
Needle is on the cover, as I recall.
What's that?
A wrecked version of the Space Needle is on the cover of that version, as I recall.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, which edition are you talking about?
Alternity.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Alternity slash 5e. That was the 5th edition of Gamma World, which happened to be an Alternity game.
And I believe the last print Alternity product.
That might be true. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I also that some of that same note that it was less goofy and tried to take a more serious tone is also true of the D20 system version of Gamma World that Bruce Baugh was the line editor for, and it was done by Sword and Sorcery, which people now know, but not necessarily at the time, was largely World of Darkness folks. But it was very specifically an effort to do a serious version of Gamma World, and it was fascinating how half the fans praised it as the best thing ever, and the other half of the fans threatened to kill the designers with pitchforks and torches.
I had that. I didn't love it, to be honest with you, but it wasn't terrible.
I worked on some of the supplements for it, and I enjoyed my work on them quite a bit.
Jacob, you're up.
My experience with post-apocalyptic role-playing is incredibly narrow. I love the genre, but the groups that I've been involved with rarely run it. I have been in all of 3 post-apocalyptic RPG campaigns. One was run in Hero, and it was kind of Gamma World-ish in that it was post-apocalyptic and there were mutants. And that was about as close as it went. That was a good game. The other was a succession of Rifts games, which I both ran and played in. And then Paranoia. And that is pretty much it. I haven't been in any of the more popular post-apocalyptic RPGs. I've never played Gamma World. I've never played Twilight 2000. So, yeah, like I said, very narrow. As to my favorite, what I enjoy, for the world, I like Rifts. I think Rifts has an interesting world. As for fun that I've had, that'd likely be Paranoia.
Okay, that's fair.
I have literally played more games in the Rifts setting using other game systems than I have Rifts game using Palladium. And I've done both. But the vast majority of people I play with who enjoy Rifts very specifically try and do it in a different game system.
Yeah, one of the best sellers for Palladium the last few years has been Rifts or Savage Worlds.
Yep.
So,
Personal promo here, if you don't mind. I did run the Fallout RPG by Modifius for a period of about 2 years, and it's all up online streaming. So if you ever get curious about it, look up Fallout Pacific Northwest on YouTube. Like I said, it went on for a couple of years. It started out on my channel. It moved to Cybernation Uncensored basically midway through, where we got some better actors. Let's just put it that way. And then it came to a satisfying conclusion. So if you like watching role-playing games, it's out there.
All right, cool. Loki, what's your opinion, sir?
As far as favorites go, it's a toss-up. The original, a lot like Owen, the original Gamma World was my first sci-fi RPG. I love the Gonzo, just over-the-top elements of it. To me, the iconic image is the guy with the stop sign shield. Between that and Paranoid, which is just always a ridiculous blast to play. As far as least favorite goes, Twilight 2000, too military, too much page count devoted to an endless variety of weapons with moderate differentiation between them. Just not really my thing. I prefer mutants and special effects to the sort of game that they had there. Not a bad game, just not for me.
Mike, you're muted again.
Mike, you muted yourself again.
Thanks for catching that, guys. Yeah, that's fair, Loki. Something about post-apocalyptic, it just really seems to, like Bear was saying earlier, Gonzo seems to go hand in hand with it a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, post-apocalyptic is almost like saying cake, right? You can be a fan of cake and hate chocolate, and someone can say, "Here's a really good chocolate cake," and you're like, "Meh, I'm not interested." And they're like, "I thought you liked cake. I like strawberry cake. I like vanilla cake. I like rum cake, especially with extra rum. I'm not a fan of chocolate." So, post-apocalyptic isn't really one genre. It's sort of an element, and then the question is, where are you going from there, right? If one person wants to play Paranoia, and another wants to play Morrow Project, and a third wants to play the most gonzo version of Gamma World, and they all sit down for a post-apocalyptic game, it is going to be hard to find anything they all enjoy.
Rifts.
The guy that wants to play Gamma World will probably love Rifts. I don't know, at least for the world. I don't know that anyone who's a fan of, for example, Morrow Project is going to look at Rifts and go, "Oh yeah, Atlantean invaders. That's what I wanted."
Yeah, but that's the thing. Rifts is not. Sorry to get off on a tangent, but Rifts, the biggest mistake, and Kevin Symbiotic talks about this all the time, the biggest mistake people would use in Rifts is they try and do everything. I want to have dragons and glitter boys and Atlanteans and crazies and juicers and the coalition and dog boys and that. No, the way to run Rifts and the vampires. No, pick one fucking area, concentrate on that area, and deal with the stuff that naturally occurs there.
So
it becomes overwhelming.
In fairness, if you're running Rifts that way, part of that is because Glitter Boys and Juicers and the Coalition are all in the core rulebook with no suggestions that you should.
No. I didn't say that they did a good job of making it suggestible. No. It's Palladium. Please. Love them. Great guys. Friends with them. Think they're great. But yeah, no. I constantly take them to task for how shittily edited their books are. Like just god-awful editing, But I agree, yeah. But still, Rifts can be very good. If you're trying to get a bunch of different post-apocalyptic people together, Rifts is a good meeting point, I feel.
And if you carefully have a conversation with people in advance, if this is going to be a mega damage game or not a mega damage game or a mega damage very rare game, that will help too. Because about the time they had concealed pistols that do 1d4 mega damage, the argument of mega damage will only occur when it's appropriate for siege weapons. Well, no, I've now got a mega damage pistol that I can stick in my pocket of my swim trunks. So at that point, the control has to be external instead of natural.
I agree 100%, but you would never hear me recommend using the Palladium system to run a Rift scheme.
Well, again, I have played a lot more Rifts without the Palladium system than with.
This is fair. Although, I mean, even if you look at the character art in the original Rifts, they showed a party where you have like a guy in a glitter boy next to a guy in a fedora and a trench coat next to a ninja. I mean, it was the 90s. People were doing wacky stuff. But,
well, just because you're in a fedora and a trench coat and Rifts doesn't mean that you might not be a mega damage class psychic that can blow away the glitter boy.
Stop talking shit about Katana Dan. Katana Dan was such a great 90s trope.
That's fair.
Should we move on to movies?
We should move on to movies.
Yes.
Owen, go first.
So I will do my own little plug. I will note that back in 2024, I did a personal, my opinion only, worst to or most to least liked list of every post-apocalyptic movie I'd ever seen. Currently, the top of that list is Mad Max Fury Road. I did that 2 years ago. I don't know that it would be at the top of the list now, but it would certainly be in the top 10. I am also a huge fan, for example, of the 1978 Dawn of the Dead, but zombie apocalypse movies are sort of so much of their own trope that you shouldn't try and compare them to others. The rest of my top 5 has Furiosa, Wizards, and Blood of Heroes. And of all of those, Blood of Heroes is the one I strongly suspect there are more people that haven't seen. It's my favorite post-apocalyptic coming-of-age sports underdog romance movie. And I enjoy it very much as it's almost like exactly what Bear said. It is a very narrow slice of a post-apocalyptic society that focuses on one group, their goals, the parts of society they run into. And that allows it to go in depth into the world of this post-apocalyptic sport that had become important. Societies care about it. And it doesn't get much into a lot of the things that they just sprinkle throughout it. There's a period where you find that one of the big economic forces are people that own a tire junkyard because they have started cutting tires into flexible armor for impact sports and to a certain extent for combat sports. And they just, there are, in at least the United States, there are acres and acres and acres of used tires piled up 30, 40 feet tall in places. And the idea that is effectively become a natural resource in a society that can't make steel belted rubber radials anymore. It's a fascinating idea, and they don't go into any in depth. It's just they go there because they need new tire armor. If we're going to do least favorite in the same run, there's a bunch of bad post-apocalyptic movies, and I must say that I love some of the bad post-apocalyptic movies. I, for example, hate The Road, but I would say it's probably a great movie. My least favorite of all of those, of the worst, is the movie Robot Monster, which is in fact the movie with a guy in a gorilla suit with a space helmet and radios on. And people that have not seen the movie aren't aware that is a post-apocalyptic movie. And it's a terrible every kind of movie. It's terrible. Bad movies. It is otherwise a terrible version of everything.
That is interesting. I gotta say, there's a lot of bad post-apocalyptic movies, but there's some that, like Six String Samurai. I wanted to love that movie so bad, and it just didn't.
It's worth watching.
I would say so, but it's the ending just doesn't land the way it needs to. So,
well, I mean, I would say the same was true of Pontypool, for example, which, yes, is a more of a zombie post-apocalyptic movie than not. But in Pontypool, individual words have become infected with viruses you hear through your ear, and when they're spoken, and therefore people are going crazy. And it really, that movie feels like at the end, people have been doing this very interesting take on this one specific concept as society unravels. And then at the end, the writer, director, and filmmaker smoked dope, shot the last of their footage, and went, well, I guess that's the end because we don't have money for anything else. It's the most disconnected from the rest of the movie ending I have ever seen in my life.
Hey, Steve Rose, he's weighing in saying Tank Girl ruled. And I haven't seen it myself, but there's a lot of love for that movie out there. I see you shaking your head, Bear. What's your opinion?
This is a nod, dumbass.
I was hoping you might elaborate on it in your gruff Canadian style, but you can just keep insulting us and calling us dumbasses. That's kind of entertaining, too.
Not us, just you. Don't drag these fine gentlemen into your nightmare, sir. These people get nothing but respect from me. You, on the other hand, Mr. Corman.
I understand.
Okay, so I would normally say, "Oh, Hell Comes to Frogtown." Love that movie. But I've already talked.
Barry, you're muted.
Right.
Yeah, that's just Mike fucking around. I think. Unmuted your mic.
I was trying to warn you, and I didn't think you'd done anything wrong.
It's just that guy. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Hell Comes to Frogtown, so I would say probably my favorite not Hell Comes to Frogtown post-apocalyptic movie. Probably hard to say. I really like The Book of Eli a lot.
Yep.
Okay, really enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yep.
Boy and His Dog is weird, but I think we've discussed this before. I'm going to have to say, with clear winner, head of the pack, I watch at least 2 times a year. She.
We could do it entire someday, Mike. You need to have me and Bear on just to talk about how much we love the movie She.
It's such a good movie.
Okay, when did this come out?
1984. It's Sandler Bergman.
Yeah.
All right, tell me. I've literally never heard this movie before. Tell me
So it's
about
basically a post-apocalyptic movie. I'm telling you, you'll watch it and go, I could run a hex crawl fantasy game using this entire plot line. It's really great. Basically, it opens up, it's post the cancellation, which was the end of the world. And these 2 guys and a girl show up at this trading village where people are trading all remnants of the previous world. And then these bad guys called the Norks show up, who are just comical in their appearance of like, I'm evil because I have a swastika, but I'm wearing a tuxedo. And it's like, what the fuck? It's so weird. And then they kidnap the girl, and then the 2 guys start going up this valley to where the Norks are to try and get her back, and they have misadventures along the way. And that's all I'll say about it, so that you can go watch it and not be spoiled.
And Mike, not only have you heard about this movie, you've heard me and Bear talk about it, because we haven't had conversations on any other show about this.
S-H-E.
S-H-E? Oh, She.
Yeah,
She.
S-H-E, She.
Okay, I've heard of that. I thought you said sheep. That made
No,
no sense.
we wasn't talking about that. Nope.
And
Different
then-
movie, different genre. We better just left unsaid.
Yeah, my
Isn't
least favorite post-apocalyptic movie.
I'm just waiting to see if Bear's least.
What was that Albert Pune one that had Michael Dudikoff and the other guy, and it was all like film noir detective stuff, radio. God damn it, what was it called? I really wanted to love that movie, and I don't hate it, but it just didn't scratch the itch for me. Sadly, it left me feeling a bit empty. I can't remember. Radioactive Dreams. That's it.
Okay, yeah, just found that.
Are you thinking of Radioactive Dreams?
That's what I just said. Yes. Yes. I just remembered before you said anything. Thank you. It's not a horrible movie, but it's just the potential was so good. And then I'm a huge fan of all the Italian Mad Max ripoff films. They're all really fun. So 1990 Bronx Warriors, Where's the Wasteland, Exterminators of the Year 3000, stuff like that. What's the one with the guy from The Paper Chase on a motorcycle that's like intelligent, and Perseus Kambata is the bad guy? What the fuck is that one called? Anyway, I'm too tired. Sorry. Anyway, there's tons of them. Metric shit tons of them.
Darren, tagging you in.
Okay, so favorite. I know that everybody's seen this. I know that I know that you're probably going to criticize me even for bringing it up because it's just such a common movie, but I'm going to say The Goddamn Road Warrior. And here's the reason. It defined the post-nuke, post-apocalyptic genre. Everything from the punk look to the motorcycle riding, the kit bashed vehicles, just the look, the feel, the nature of the wasteland itself. The fucking Humongous was a goddamn mutant, for God's sake.
Which movie are you talking about?
Don't bullshit me.
No, I could have swore you said Mad Max, but did you say Road Warrior?
I said the Road Warrior. Yes.
Okay, cool, good.
Or Mad Max 2, depending upon where you're from.
Yeah.
So everything that ended up becoming, I don't know which came first. The chicken or the egg. I don't know if it was Gamma World or if it was, the Road Warrior. But the look and feel, it all came from that movie. And then you look at Fallout, and Fallout. The look of that just borrows heavily from that movie. So I think that it's really the thing that defines it, kind of like how Blade Runner defines cyberpunk, or at least was one of the defining things that led to cyberpunk. So that's my favorite. My least favorite, I'm honestly having a hard time coming up with one because I try not to watch crap, and I don't have a lot of time to watch movies anyway. So if I've heard that it's crap, I probably don't watch it.
All right, that's fair. Jacob, your turn.
I am willing to watch a tremendous amount of schlock. I have, in fact, enjoyed a lot of schlock.
I've heard you like big schlock.
I will attest to enjoying big schlock. Let's see. Least favorite, Owen's Robot Monster is really up there. That being already taken, I'm gonna have to say Left Behind, because just the bullshittery of that movie.
I haven't even watched it, but I'll agree with you.
You could be a good person.
Is that a Rapture movie?
You could
Yes.
be one of the best people on the world, but if you weren't a Christian, you didn't go.
Yeah.
It was such bullshit propaganda.
There's a little subgenre of evangelical.
Because I was going to choose that one.
So it implies that no matter how good you are, screw you. So fuck that movie and everyone who was involved with it.
Wasn't Nicolas Cage in that?
Cameron.
There have been multiple versions of it, and my statement applies to all.
Yeah, and it was originally a novel series, which I believe is actually in spin-off, still ongoing, and then maybe HBO did a whole made for HBO version for it.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, it also created some RPGs inspired by it. Engel, which got a D20 system conversion, which was originally done in Europe. The Meek, which I always sort of liked because the tagline of the Meek was that the line from the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth, was not a promise, it was a warning. Because in the Meek, both everyone who's really, really good and everyone who's really, really bad is gone. And the most common of commoners are left to deal with an increasingly supernatural world. But I think all of those RPGs are significantly better than Left Behind, which I think is a perfectly reasonable choice for worst.
Okay, and for my favorite movie, I'm gonna have to say Dread.
Dread?
Nice
Dread.
choice.
Yeah, Dread's post-apocalyptic.
It is the last remnant of civilization in a ruined Earth, and what people are willing to do to survive in it.
All right, fair enough. Loki, your turn, sir.
Well, since Owen set the precedent, I'm going to have to default to a list. But the number one top of the list is, and I'm shocked it hadn't been mentioned yet, the original Planet of the Apes.
Good choice.
But I would have to say Planet of the Apes, despite its many myriad flaws, Logan's Run. And coming in the third spot is a movie I talked about on a podcast earlier with Darren, obscure 80s post-apocalyptic flick called World Gone Wild. Bruce Dern is fantastic in it. His dialogue is sheer gold as the crazy guy leading the resistance. And the bad guy is a truly disturbing performance, a religious fanatic modeling himself on Charles Manson out in the desert, coming to raid this small community because it's the last place where there's water after all of the war and such, played by none other than Adam Ant.
Yep. World Gone Wild for a while was one of the most quoted movies in my gaming group.
Somebody else has seen it. Thank you, Owen.
I've seen it. That's
top-
a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, the top quote that we kept
Yeah.
quoting was, "Magic work much better when there be bullets in the gun, asshole." Yeah, it's a great movie. It would not necessarily break my top 10, but that's because I've got like a top 50 of post-apocalyptic movies I really like. So having to pick one or two or the top 10 or whatever. Doc Flamingo says, will no one hate on Cherry 2000? I absolutely will not hate on Cherry 2000.
No
There are
way. Tim
so
Thomerson,
many
baby.
worse movies than Cherry.
Oh
2000.
my God, yeah.
Cherry 2000 is great. Where'd you get that little go to hell hat? Found it. It's a classic guy out of his depth hires a guide / mercenary to get him to his goal, which involves going through various dangerous zones. As Bear has noted with other things, it's very gameable. It's a scenario just waiting to happen.
Yeah. So, side note, not to be like name dropping or anything like that. We worked with Tim Thomerson on a movie in the late '90s, early 2000s, late '90s here in Montreal, and we had to ask him. We're like, "Why do you do so many awful films? You're a good actor." And he just looked at us and he deadpan said, "I got 5 ex-wives. These movies are bitch feed." Like, wow.
Damn.
I mean,
Was
they
there something
asked
cool
Jeremy
from Ron
Irons why
Perlman?
he made the original D&D movie, and his answer was, "My castle has a mortgage."
Yep. And that's right up there with Michael Caine's. I've never seen Joe's full, but I've seen the house it bought. It's very nice.
Yes.
Well, talking about movies though, there's one that shows what Owen was talking about the versatility of the genre, because it's not what most people think of as a post-apocalyptic movie. But there's a film called Silent Running, another Bruce Dern flick. The world has basically been made uninhabitable. People are living under domes, and the last forests and ecologies are out in space.
Yep.
And it begins when the order comes in to jettison and nuclear destruct the domes and return the ships to commercial service.
No.
And one guy says, fuck no, Bruce Dern, and basically carries the entire movie by himself as he flees out past the orbit of Saturn with the last forests of the planet.
Yeah, Silent Running is an amazing movie. The little helper robots in it, I really think, set the pattern for some of the robots that we have seen in sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes off as a sci-fi film, but Loki's right. It's absolutely post-apocalyptic. It is just, and again, this is something that touches on what Bear said. It takes one specific slice of that apocalypse and shows what you can do with that concept without trying to edge in everything else.
Yeah.
Another really good post-apocalyptic film many have not seen, and it is a shame, is a little New Zealand film called The Quiet Earth.
Oh, I love that movie.
Quiet Earth.
That movie is so good. So damn good.
That was one of my video storm finds when my main social activity was renting movies because I had a VHS and other people didn't, and I could tell my friends, I'm having a movie night. And it's great. It really Bear's right. People should absolutely go see it. There's just so much good post-apocalyptic. One of the reasons is that it's one of the things that can make for interesting stories is putting people in situations they didn't expect or plan for. And an apocalypse is a great way to say, hey, all of our expected norms are gone. Now what? And sometimes why they're gone doesn't matter. Sometimes why they're gone isn't mentioned, right? We just say the world burned. Okay, well, that's probably nuclear, but heck, at this point, it could be climate change. We don't know what they mean. All we know is there's now a problem. Society has collapsed. What do you do when you've got some of the knowledge of society and none of the rules and guidelines and control groups? It's also, Jonathan Tweet used to say that he thought post-apocalypse should be the perfect sci-fi RPG because it is one of the few sci-fi RPGs where you can just say your goal is to survive and maybe to try and build something to help you survive. Right? Sci-fi is often not about that. When you're looking at Star Trek or Star Wars, or there are political conflicts, but in general, some form of society will make it. But in a post-apocalyptic, you can set things up so that there are a lot of things out there. You can do a dungeon crawl if that's what you want. I think there's probably no plot that you can't map to a post-apocalyptic game of one kind or another.
Yep, I agree with that.
Let's just take a look at the state of RPGs as it is. From the get-go, Dungeons and Dragons, Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms are both technically post-apocalyptic worlds. There were ancient civilizations on both of those worlds that were hyper-advanced, in this case magically as opposed to technologically, and then there was a huge collapse.
I mean,
that is a post-apocalyptic world.
While you're right, I don't count them as post-apocalyptic setting for the same reason I don't count Miami Vice as a post-apocalyptic setting just because of the Bronze Age collapse in the ancient world. It's not really relevant anymore. Those are not post-apocalyptic. Those are modern worlds that had apocalypses in their ancient history.
I would fall on Owen's side on this one. But you know what? I'd like to bring up the Martian Chronicles as post-apocalyptic.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's
yeah.
I mean, from about the middle onwards.
Yeah, I mean, it was a collection of stories, so I think the first ones weren't particularly post-apocalyptic, but then at the end of them, you start getting like Last Guy on Earth type of stories and things like that.
There was a really good one where he was trying to talk about America in the 50s and 60s, but he was doing it through the lens of Martian stories. And a bunch of black folks in the South said, see ya, get on a rocket, go to Mars. Then they look back a few years later, and all the news reports from Earth is nuclear war. And it's maybe one of Bradbury's best stories, because these rockets of white folks show up, and all of a sudden there's this moment where there's a confrontation. The white folks are like, yeah, we understand, you're going to want to lynch us some night, so we're going to be in the back of the bus, and we're all okay with that. And then they find a solution, but it was the way Bradbury does. It was just kind of beautiful and poetic and moving, and I'd never thought of it before. But yeah, I mean, it's the kind of story you can only tell in a refugee post-apocalyptic situation. So yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Thomas Peterson said that's movie picture I've ever heard one. It's Miami Vice after the apocalypse.
Absolutely. And you could do that in Rifts, right? You could pick any post-apocalyptic city, and that city has rules that state that there are drugs that aren't allowed in, and you play a squad of anti-drug vice cops.
No, I just want the Rifts Miami source book now. Oh my god.
Oh, Thomas, you're giving me ideas. That's a dangerous thing because I'm actually working on a product right now. I am a huge Miami Vice fan. I actually just bought the entire series for streaming. So I could totally make that work.
It does go off the rails towards the final seasons, let's be honest. And we have the UFO episode. It's kind of like, what the fuck's going on, Miami Vice?
You say go off the rails. I say make itself closer to Miami Vice Rifts, right? It's just adding in more of the stuff that would work in a Rift setting.
So basically you're taking on the Splurgoth drug cartel? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In kind of a fun way, you can actually hit the post-apocalypse button for any franchise, and it gets kind of weirder. Like that horrible Kevin Sorbush.
Fucking juicers in Miami Vice Rifts. I don't know. It's gonna get tiresome.
Well, and then you start talking about bad juice, right? There's bad juice on the street. The juicers are going crazy.
Phrase that and enunciate clearly, please.
Juice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're going to get me censored, make me a lot more popular on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, the horrible Kevin Sorbo show, Andromeda, the original concept came from a Gene Roddenberry pitch for post-apocalyptic Star Trek.
Well, it was the whole idea that it was the year 3000 and everything had failed, and basically the Enterprise, under the command of Jesus Christ, Dylan Hunt, which was a name he reused through a lot of his stuff, is the Vulcans betray the Federation by rejoining with the Romulans, and they get stuck in that time thing. And when they come out, they find out the Klingons are pacifists, and and he's going around rebuilding the Federation. It's a great fucking idea. It's a great idea.
They adapted that to season 3 of Discovery, which
exactly. Then they just take it and they throw it out as garbage. Fuck, I hate modern Trek.
I'm not the biggest Discovery fan. I don't hate it all. We're not talking about Trek.
Speaking of post-apocalyptic, the current state of Trek. But anyway.
So, have we all done
TV shows?
Game and favored movie? Shall we move on to delving into the thing that Darren mentioned, that he's running a Kickstarter for a post-apocalyptic?
Oh, we're not doing TV shows? Okay, damn.
I just want to plug Delicatessen.
Well, hold on. If Darren wants to do TV shows, I want to hear his thoughts on TV shows.
Okay.
Quite a few good
fast.
ones.
All right, Bear, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Just Delicatessen, 1991 French movie. Quirky French bullshit. They don't explain the apocalypse. It's a boarding house in Paris, and if you want to live there, you got to bring food, specifically meat. It's a butcher is the landlord, but it's post-apocalypse, so meat's hard to come by. There's a scene where the landlord's telling this guy, "Hey, your monthly rent is due. I didn't see any money, so we'll give up grandma." And he takes out ads in the local newspaper for a handyman to let the handyman come in, fix some stuff for a few weeks, and they kill him and eat him. This goes on every month until they get some charming. It's a French movie, so there's a charming clown who comes and becomes the handyman. He charms all the inhabitants, and there's these weird guys in black latex suits called the Subterraneans or the Troglodytes, who have a resistance movement in the Parisian sewers. It's just a crazy fucking movie. If you get a chance, check it out. I don't even know if it's on DVD these days. Anyway,
go watch it again and pay attention. The other guy is played by the same actor that goes on to play Chakotay in Star Trek Voyager.
Well, that's Eating Raoul.
Oh, you're right. It's late. I'm tired. Please excuse me. Thank you.
I'm right there with you, brother.
It's all good. All right, Bear. Post-apocalyptic TV shows. Go.
I got 2 for you. Is it Almost Human? Keith Urban. It's a cyberpunk show. Yeah. And then in the final fucking episode, he goes outside the wall, and you find out that outside the city is a devastated wasteland. And everyone went, "Holy fuck, season 2 is going to be awesome," and they canceled it. And you're like, why would you do that? That's a really good approach, because you didn't know it was post-apocalyptic until the reveal, and I thought that was genius. But for me, I'd have to say, based on what we're talking about right now, there is an episode of American Dad that is the rapture happens, and then they pick up later, and it's hell on earth, and Stan is like the road warrior, and it's the 7 years of hell will rule the earth, and they're fighting demons and all this kind of crazy shit, and then he has to team up with Jesus, who's come back to take down the Antichrist, which they call Anti endlessly. It's ridiculously good. It's insanely well done. Like, it's just one episode of that show. I didn't like that show as a general rule, but I saw that one episode and I was like, holy fuck, this would make a great series. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. It's insanely good. Highly recommend.
The way Seth MacFarlane is, so often he's just kind of lowbrow and stupid, but then sometimes he surprises you.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about the Orville.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And then he loses you in the 3rd season, but whatever.
No, I loved the 3rd season of the Orville. I thought it was the best season.
Took itself too seriously. I didn't like it. That's me personally.
I thought that it's being serious. I felt the comedy of the Orville was designed to get him the money to do the Star Trek episodes he wanted. And I thought he did a great job.
But that's the thing. I felt the 3rd season felt like he found a bunch of fucking unproduced TNG scripts and went, "Ooh, I'm going to make them." It was just like, it didn't. I didn't like it. Anyway,
again,
love the first
I
two
thought they were
seasons,
great.
though. We're not talking about Star Trek or the Orville. We're talking about post-apocalyptic TV.
My favorite post-apocalypse television show. I'm not going to claim it's good. I'm not going to claim it holds up well. I'm just going to say it's my favorite, and that's Arc 2. I watched it first run. It is there we go, Arc 2. It is the story of a sci-fi well-equipped vehicle that the scientists, which we are never really told anything about, have sent out into the wasteland after the apocalypse with one adult, 2 kids, and a chimpanzee to try to bring knowledge to the ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean dumb. I mean just literally they don't know things anymore. And I have used that concept in so many RPG games. You can blend a lot of it with Morrow Project really super easily, just with slightly different backgrounds. And I am a sucker for post-apocalypses that are based on large armored sci-fi buses. So, you know, when I'm watching Damnation Alley or Arc 2 or it's a whole subgenre. I just love that series, and it hit me at exactly the right age, so it became part of my foundational thought of what a post-apocalypse story should be.
Question for you, Owen. Have you seen Genesis 2, Planet Earth, or Strange New World?
I don't think so.
So there are 3 Roddenberry ideas, though he didn't work on the third one, Strange New World. They took Genesis 2 as the first one, then they retooled it as Planet Earth, and they retooled it again as Strange New World. All 3 attempts to get a series on the air. All 3 pilots were rejected. They're all that premise, right? So Arc 2 was like the 4th attempt at this idea, but with a family twist that'll make it more, you know, kids will watch it, you know. But they're good. You should watch. If you find all 3 of them,
I will look them up. Thank you.
Hey, this is probably the time to pivot to talk about Darren's project.
Can I list my favorite shows real quick before we do that?
TV.
We're driving the bus now. Sorry, everyone gets their TV show in. Darren, you go first.
Okay. I've compiled a list of 4 shows, actually, that I wanted to mention. Number 1 being Fallout, which is topical because it's current. Enough said there. If you like the game, you like the show, it's amazing. And it's a great representation of a Gamma World-esque post-apocalyptic setting on TV, which means it's mainstream. Number 2, Twisted Metal, which is also current. And I could basically say the same things about that I just said about Fallout. Number 3, Jericho. Do we remember? Does anybody remember Jericho?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was a great TV series, and what was cool about that was that it used a lot of the talent that ended up going into Lost, and you started to see what do they call that? The question box plot lining,
mystery box.
That's what I was trying to think of. You start to see that in Jericho. It's a shame it only went 2 seasons, but it's great. And finally, American Horror Story Apocalypse, which
surprised the hell out of me with that twist.
Which I have not seen that season.
I was wondering where they were going, and then it happened.
Okay. Don't tell them.
So, I think the whole season of American Horror Story Apocalypse is great until the last 15 minutes. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, but I was very disappointed by the resolution. So anyway, you want to talk about the Kickstarter?
I think we agreed to give everyone their TV show time first. So Jacob, TV show.
Don't bother with Walking Dead. Walking Dead sucks. Everything about Walking Dead sucks. If you want to watch a good zombie post-apocalypse series, you want to watch Z Nation, because it is a show about hope in the zombie apocalypse, whereas The Walking Dead is just shitty bullshit. There is suffering, and nothing will ever be good anymore.
You know, Jacob, my favorite episode of Z Nation featured a zombie tornado.
Top shout out for post-apocalypse TV series, Into the Badlands.
Oh yeah,
good. Yeah, very listed actually.
Yes.
Wuxia post-apocalypse action.
How'd that show ever end? I looked that up.
It suffered from the kid with the berserker superpower being a chosen one and ended up being the villain. It went into that plot line for too long and people hated it, and so they pretty much turned against the show.
Okay, all right. Loki, it's your turn, sir.
Oh, as far as post-apocalyptic TV shows?
Yep.
Well, I would have to go with one that is highly flawed, generally kind of dumb in a lot of ways, but I love it dearly since some of my other choices have been taken. And that would be, did you know there was a single season of a really bad Logan's Run TV show?
Yes, there was.
Yep.
Traveling with a robot named Rem and doing an almost Star Trek culture of the week sort of thing as they find all of these civilizations, outposts, etc., in the supposedly dead nuked world.
And I'm 100% with Loki that it's flawed, but I will also say if you are a fan of post-apocalypses and you're thinking of running a post-apocalypse campaign, it is also idea rich. That doesn't mean that the execution of those ideas are always good, but it is an idea rich micro season that's very much 70s, early 80s TV sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've always thought, like I said before, most any genre or setting, if you just press a post-apocalypse button, things are kind of funnier and weirder. Comics do that a lot with certain characters. There was a fun story in the 90s where the Justice League wound up in a post-apocalyptic setting for a couple of issues.
Is that the one where Hawkman's like really brutal, and it turns out it's a Dr. Destiny mind trip, but it's like weirdly dark?
I remember that one. I was thinking of an annual where, oh boy, it was an alien invasion kind of thing. Batman blew stuff up to take out a mothership. But seems like every few years they do this kind of thing with Captain America, where they freeze them in ice again and have them show up in a post-apocalyptic future where you have to refound the U.S. or something. So
I think they should just freeze them and thaw as needed.
Well, that's the Winter Soldier. That was what the Russians did. So you're talking like a commie, sir.
Ooh.
That's actually what they did.
No. Fair enough. He owed me one for the Phyllis Diller comment earlier. It's all good.
Yeah, there. We're even now.
That's actually what they did in Heroes Reborn Captain America when Rob Liefeld was running it.
We don't speak about Rob Liefeld, right? Isn't that affect that law still on the books?
I'm very fond of the artist who shall not be named, who can't draw ankles. I'm a big fan. But hey, moving on. You go to Tiny Apocalypse. Sorry, Tiny Apocalypse. tinyurl.com/apocalypse5.
Do something with it.
It's all about mutant midgets. But anyway, moving little people. I'm sorry.
No, Mike.
No. Hey, you said you did the thing earlier with the juice. tinyurl.com/apocalypse5. This is Darren's current project. Darren, this is not quite 5e. It's 5e adjacent for post-apocalypse. Tell us about it.
I would say it's more like built on the 5e engine, but it is not a reskinning of D&D. And then you're going to wonder, what are the differences? Well, for starters, you make your own character class. It's not like there's a bunch of predetermined character classes. There are some predetermined subclasses, but basically, the game is divided into 4 tiers, just like 5e already is. And within each tier, you've got a group of class abilities you can take for your character. You can pick and choose as you like. And then subclasses, they're a little more focused. We're also going to have things like, you've got your Rager subclass, your Sneak Attack subclass, that type of thing. There will be mutations. There will be feats. And there will also be a gazetteer of the North American wasteland. I would also like to work with at least 3 of the people in this podcast. Whereas Mike is already working with me and Bear has already done a voiceover. So I guess everybody. But I'd like to actually hire some of these people. And to that end, I will need more pledges. please pledge. It's only $20, and you'll have it by June, guaranteed. As a matter of fact, I'm making such good progress on this thing, it's probably going to be out well before June. But it will, as far as what you get with this game, if you like Gamma World, if you like Fallout, it is very much in that vein. It's a little bit gonzo. It's a little bit gritty. You can definitely do what you want with it. And if you know how to play 5e, you'll know how to play this because the fundamental rules are the same.
All right, cool. I'm assuming you guys played Andrew's beautiful voiceover on the video last podcast.
We did.
Okay, all right. It's check out, for no other reason, go to the page, tinyurl.com/apocalypse5. Check out the video because Andrew really knocks it out of the park with kind of a.
It's like so hard for you to say bear, isn't it? You just got to constantly be using my fucking dude. Lobster boy, you and me, we're gonna wrestle one day. It's gonna happen.
One day.
Yes, so. I did the voiceover, and I was pretty happy with it.
Bye.
Like I said, I would very much like to work with Owen again, and Owen has agreed to be a part of this thing if I can actually afford him. So we please donate, and the offer is also extended. Whereas
I'm not cheap.
This is true. Although we had a discussion at one point about you doing some day one support products for it, where you would still be able to, but you'd be a little bit more mercenary about it. Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, hey, we've been going for about an hour. Anybody else closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
Apocalyptic fantasy game Final Age will be coming out in January, hopefully, if I get everything done in time. And it is using the 5e engine, just like Darren's is. And mine is all about basically a horror-based post-apocalyptic fantasy setting. And it's a lot of fun, and people who've played it love it, and people who've read it loved it. And now I'm doing the full treatment after the primer, which is up on Drive-Thru-RPG if you want to go get that just to get a taste.
This is with Valorous?
No, this is Final Age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Now
you have a link, Eddie?
There's no links yet. I'm writing it. It's not going to be crowdfunded. It's not going to be. I can give you the link for the primer, I suppose. Hang on, I'll get you that. Hang on, I'll get you the link for the primer. But it's not going to be crowdfunded. And girl clutching aside, it will be using AI art. I'm so sorry. Oh, fainting couch is not supplied. And that's nothing more than just I don't have money. That's life. Here I'm putting the link for the primer, which uses Dean Spencer art in the. So you can buy that if the AI art bothers you. You can buy that. Put it in the private chat for you.
Yep, got it right there. So check it out. Support Bear. He does good work.
And yes, this is all in service of raising money to pay artists like Owen and others to do art for Heroic, because that will have no AR. But as a result, it needs money. Lots and lots of money. Because I tried beating him with a stick, but he doesn't draw very well when you beat him with a stick.
I've had better luck with Jacob, but I live near him. So
there you go.
As a closing thought, hopefully if you have watched this much of this episode of BAMF, you're excited about the idea of post-apocalypse stories and post-apocalypse gaming. There's a lot of experienced game engine design and experienced post-apocalyptic world building and narrative opportunity represented in this group. People who have been watching me know that I have been teasing that I will have my own post-apocalyptic game that will come out, but not all that close. And Darren and I talked about it. He's basing his on 5e. Mine will be based on Starfinder First Edition because I helped create Starfinder First Edition. It's engraved on my bones. I know it really well, and I want to make a post-apocalypse game on it. But if you want us to keep doing this kind of stuff, if you want to have post-apocalyptic gaming that follow the artist's individual views and their interest and their drive, you got to shell out some money, folks. So whether or not Darren makes enough money to pay my rate to help, and I would really like to help, both because I would enjoy working on PA with Darren again and because I like to eat. Get in there, pledge some stuff, try the core rulebook. If you don't like it, fine, don't buy any of our later on support. But the whole point of Kickstarter is to let artists make stuff we can't afford to make if you don't help. So go. Please pledge. Give to Post-Apocalyptic 5e games without backing. Get in there. Do it.
Bottle caps not accepted.
What Owen said there, yes.
And on that happy note, I'm ready to call the show. Loki, thanks for joining us, sir. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure.
Mayor, good having you. Owen, Jacob, Darren, as always, it's a pleasure. Thanks for checking us out, folks. We will catch you next time on the BAMF Podcast.